The only one in attendance is Alderman Jerry Kleiner. The mayor is absent. I'll turn it over to the chief.
Good evening, Commissioners. This evening, in addition to a regular agenda, I do have one candidate, police officer candidate, that I'd like to present to the Commission for interview purposes. And at that time, I would also request a motion to go into executive session, not only to interview that candidate, but also to discuss personnel matters. So since our last meeting, I actually have quite a few things on the agenda this evening. Under communications, there was a press release that was put out on February 6th in the Mid-Hudson News in regards to a person that was sentenced based on a shooting he was involved in here in Middletown. That is Najib Jackson, was sentenced to 8 years in prison with 5 years post-release. And that was due to his involvement in a shooting that occurred on December 21st, 2022 in Park Circle. So he was apprehended by the detectives' investigative talents, and they tracked him down and were able to find him. I just thought it was a positive piece of media to share with the commission. I do have it if anybody wants to read it along with the original report. I can pass it around if anybody wants it. Yeah. Okay. Moving forward, I did forward the commission the January Police Commission minutes for their review, if you'd like to discuss them at all. Good, I got 24. I went back and double checked. I found it somewhere else too. I was like, dang, I missed it. So being no discussion, I'd be looking for a motion to accept them as written. I have a motion by Commissioner Mills, second by Commissioner Vignola. All in favor?
Aye.
Appreciate that. So I did forward the commission some documents just the last couple of days, so I apologize for the short turnaround. In regards to January statistics, for the month of January, the department handled 2,561 calls for service, which was a slight increase from December. It was an 8% increase. In December of 23, we handled 2,237 calls for service. In regards to crimes that we investigated, Part 1 crimes for the month of January, we investigated 54 Part 1 crimes. Out of those, 8 were violent, 46 were property. The violent categories all consisted of assaults, which could be a combination of assaults related to, a fight in the street, to a domestic, to two kids fighting. So nothing real crazy, even though they do fall in the category of violent. Out of the 46 property crimes, 39 of them were larceny related, still driving our numbers as larcenies. In December, the month of December, we handled 38 Part 1 crimes. So we did see a pretty good jump there from December to January. Part 2 crimes for the month of January, the department investigated 196 in comparison to 170 in December. For the month of January, the department made 195 arrests, which is a 29% increase over the previous month of 151. So even though we saw an increase in our crime stats and our call volume, we also saw an increase in the arrest, which shows to me that there's a response to that crime as well from the officers. Traffic summons for the month of January, the department issued 430 in comparison to 280 in December. Parking tickets, 1,103 were issued for the month in comparison to 1,024 for December. Out of those 195 arrests that were made in the month of January, only 5 of them resulted in some type of a use of force related to them, which equates to 2.56%. For the month of January, the department investigated 3 reports of shots fired, 2 of which were unfounded, one of those being North Street on January 3rd, and one of those being on Genung Street on January 18th. The other one was a founded incident. It occurred on January 10th on Beacon Street, and I'm happy to say that the detectives, through their investigative means, have also made an arrest in that situation as well. Just a brief overview of that, and I do believe I briefed the commission on this at the last meeting. There were 7 shots fired. We actually had a person come out into the street and shoot at a vehicle that was passing through. Through the use of our flock system, the license plate readers and our city cameras. We were able to identify the vehicle that was fleeing, locate it, tracked it back to the Port Jervis. Went down there, found that it had damage to it, tried to speak with the person that was operating it. It was uncooperative, wanted nothing to do with us. So we ended up towing his vehicle as evidence, bringing it back to process it. And one thing led to the other. We're able to track down the person that did the shooting, again, based on video. He was actually captured on some video in the neighborhood. We were able to identify him through that and through some other means, locate him. The person that we took into custody is 17 years old, and we actually arrested him in May of 2023 with a handgun as well. He was currently on probation. So that's all been reported to his probation officer, and hopefully there's some type of repercussion for his poor behaviors. Any discussion? You want to drill into the stats any further?
Yep.
In regards to staffing, this evening as I sit before you, I have 2 vacancies in the department. We currently have 73 sworn personnel, which that is counting the 2 officers that were hired at the last meeting that will be beginning their careers with us shortly. We're still in this year's budget for 75. Out of the current members that I do have, 2 are on admin duty. I have 1 deployed on military leave. I have 4 in field training, soon to be 5 in field training. So the officers that were hired out of the last meeting that was off, the candidates Trayvon Myers and Bruce Barclay, they both passed their psychological evaluations and medical exams, which are both items that are required for hiring purposes. So they're set to begin their careers with us on February 26th. Police officer candidate Myers would attend the police academy, which commences on March 4th, and police officer candidate Barclay would begin field training as he's already a certified police officer. So again, they'll begin their careers with us on the 26th. With those additions, brings us to that 73 number. I'm happy to say that February 2nd was the graduation of the police academy, and that was for police officer Hodges and police officer Pearson. They started the field training program, doing very well. During the graduation, police officer Hodges was a recipient of numerous awards, to include Firearms Award, Defensive Tactics Award, Overall Achievement Award, which is the highest average in academics, defensive tactics, EMS, and firearms. He was also awarded the Drill Instructors Award and the Chief and Detective James Gary Award for highest overall achievement. He was also the class president. So accolades to him. He did amazing. He set the bar high for everyone else coming behind him, but he's going to be a great addition to the organization. Police Officer Pearson also received an award. He received an award for top performer in EMS. Again, sharp individual. Very happy for both of them. Very happy to have them. Like to congratulate them both as well. Very, very proud of them. So this evening, the gentleman that I'd be presenting to the commission, he's not a certified police officer, so he would be required, if the commission chooses to bring him aboard, to go through the police academy, which once again starts on March 4th. I have one other police officer candidate to present to the commission, but I'd be looking to do that in March or April. He's a certified police officer, so he would not be required to go to the police academy. The only reason I didn't want to bring him this evening, and I have some time, one is the police academy. He's not required for that time frame, but also to fulfill the 3-year commitment that he has with his current police department, I'd have to wait till the end of May before I could actually bring him aboard. So I figure we have a little bit of time there. Last week I actually interviewed 2 potential part-time police officer candidates, both retired from New York City, both female candidates, looking to work part-time a little bit. I sat down with them, explained to them what the requirements are, what I would expect of them, and then I'm just waiting to hear back from them if it's something that they want. If it is, we would do backgrounds on them and then present them to the commission as well. They would be for the downtown post, to include the concerts, Paramount events, anything in the downtown area, which is all delineated by the collective bargaining agreement.
Do we still have a downtown officer?
I do. Chris Dolan is there between his other responsibilities. Since our last meeting, the lieutenant exam results came out. They have not yet been certified by the Civil Service Commission. That will be done, I believe, tomorrow, actually. They meet. Or was it today? I know we're off by a day, so, but being that we do have a vacant lieutenant's position that's been, for a little over a year now, I'd be asking the commission if they'd be willing to interview for lieutenant's positions at the March meeting, if that's something that you're open to. And I do have a list of the candidates. If you would like to see them, I could pass that around. Yes. Yep. In conjunction with that, if we do fill the lieutenant's position, that would open up a sergeant's position. We do have an active sergeant's list as well. I could pass that around as well. And I'd be asking the commission if they'd be willing to do interviews for the sergeants, to fill the sergeant's position, either in March or April or whatever's conducive to the commission. This is the sergeants. Well, that's the whole list. It would be, this is actually in numerical order because it's been certified. This one's not been certified, so it's just in the raw order right now.
And you'd boil this down, or you?
Yes, it would come down, so the lieutenants would end up being 3 candidates. Yes, it would be 3 candidates, and the sergeants would be, it could possibly be 7 candidates for one position based on ties. I'll just, I can take that over. So with the civil service rules, if there's a tie, that group that's tied score comes together. They all come as one score. So that's the only reason there would be additionals there. So that's something that the commission can tell me when they're ready. That's up to you guys. Would you like further information on it, or? Very good. So in regards to training for the month of January, it was a pretty busy month for training. We tried to capitalize on the winter months where we have more staff. Call volume's a little less than it is during the summer. So we do try to capitalize on whatever trainings we can during the months, the winter months. So just run down a list of some of the trainings, or these are the trainings that the department participated in. Instructor development, the quarterly range cycle, firearms range cycle, reality-based training, genetic genealogy and U training, deflection leadership in 21st century policing, ghost gun investigations and the future of 3D printed firearms, civil liability and civil rights, alert 2, which is active shooter training, use of force, incident command, basic homicide instructor at the supervisor school, reality-based instructor, illicit cannabis enforcement summit, taser instructor, radar operator, NACA ACO, that's for our animal control officer. We got him certified as the first level as an animal control officer. Reunification instructor at the supervisor school, fingerprinting and arrest processing instructor at the supervisor school, management of rights, hate crimes, management of rights instructor, responding to and investigating bomb threats and swatting hoax, human traffic awareness forum, CPR and first aid. So we are continuing to invest into the further education and training of our staff. Any thoughts, questions, concerns, discussion?
That's good.
A few meetings ago, I mentioned some of the grants that the department was working on. So I just wanted to update the commission on one grant that is, we're getting pretty close to the end. This was a $500,000 grant that was provided to us through Assemblywoman Gunther. It was actually $400 and some $1,000 and change. We bumped it up to about $500,000 with some monies from the Middletown bid district because they had an interest in this as well, because we were able to cover the majority of our downtown area with cameras through this project. We've added 29 cameras to the downtown. Not all of them are up and operational. We have a handful that are still waiting for approval of Orange and Rockland for their permits for their using the O&R poles, which is normal standard practice that we go through with them. But a majority of them are up and running. On our end, this project included updating our dispatch area as well with new hardware, software, For those that have been in there, it was like kind of piecemealed over the years with some different size monitors and whatnot. This has all come together very clean. We were able to renovate that room, put up a video wall, new desks, new flooring, new hardware, with the idea of potential growth as well. So if anybody would ever like to come and see it and see the changes, just let me know, and I'd be happy to show you. That is, each day a little bit more of that is put into operation. So it's still going to be a little bit before it's 100%, but we're about 98% complete on that grant. Since our last meeting, the department, in regards to community events, the department assisted and participated in the city's Parks and Rec Department's Winter Festival, which was on February 3rd. I was back here at the ice rink. It was a Saturday. Great turnout, great event. I just have a handful of cases to note. I think they're all noteworthy cases to share with the commission to show the hard work that the units are doing and the officers are doing. On January 5th, narcotics search warrant was executed on 307 Monhagan Avenue. During that, the officers recovered 5.2 grams of cocaine, scales, packaging material, over $6,000 in cash, made one arrest, prior convicted felon, charged him with criminal possession of controlled substance in the 3rd degree, which is intent to sell, and criminal possession of controlled substance in 4th degree based on the amount that he had. On January 5th, 2024, another narcotics search warrant, 271 East Main Street. In this search warrant, the department recovered 193 decks of heroin, 11.9 grams of cocaine, some scales, packaging material, just under $300 in cash. One person was arrested, again, for criminal possession of controlled substance in the 3rd degree, as well as criminal possession in the 4th degree. On January 31st, the department responded to a report of a dispute at a barbershop on Cottage Street, 92 Cottage Street. What they find when they get there is there's a client getting a haircut. A colleague of his comes in, gets in an argument with him over their dog, or a dog. In the argument, the person that comes in displays a handgun. The staff at the barbershop on another patron of the barbershop, who happened to be an off-duty Orange County Corrections officer, intervene, hold on to this guy, prevent him from actually pulling out the handgun, actually throw him on the ground and lay on him. In doing so, the handgun slides away. The guy that was actually originally getting his haircut scoops it up and runs out the door. So we arrest one person. We know the identity of the other person. We're actively seeking him. And he ran off with the gun on us. But just an interesting case, I thought, to share with you. On February 1st, and I know this comes into this month, but again, just I feel good work in the show, like the work that's going on. Another narcotics search warrant, 142 Concord Lane. In this search warrant, they recovered a quantity of powdered fentanyl, 252 glassine, like little decks of fentanyl, a handgun, metal knuckles, 15 grams of crack cocaine, scales, packaging material, just under $7,000 in cash. We were able to arrest 5 individuals in this incident. Same thing, criminal possession of controlled substance in 3rd degree, 4th degree, and additional criminal possession of a weapon. A lot of our known people in this house.
Where was the address?
That was 142 Concord Lane. Also on the same day, they conducted another search warrant that led them right outside the city limits into the town of Wawayanda on Route 6, 3008 Route 6. In this one, they recovered 59 glassines of heroin. The person was charged with criminal possession of controlled substance 3rd, as well as endangering the welfare of a child, as the product was secreted in the child's bedroom, trying to hide it.
And all these defendants were probably released, correct?
That I don't have that information to be factual about. I could assume, but I can't speak 100% on that. On February 6th, we dealt with an incident that happened at the high school between 2 students that spilled over from inside the school to later in the day out in the parking lot. It was a fight between 2 students. Seems to be that there's a female involved, that may be a common female between the 2 of them, it sounds like. But as a result of that, in addition to whatever the school is doing with them, we actually arrested the one individual, the aggressor in that incident. charge them with obstructing governmental administration, disorderly conduct. Being that the victim really wasn't too cooperative with us and didn't have injuries, that's the best we could do. Or we could charge those just for the fact that the people were fighting in a public area. On the 7th, those same individuals, or not the same, but one of those same individuals continues the fight in the high school. Breaks out in a common area amongst several students, during which one of the security guards gets struck in the head, has to get medical attention. As a result of this incident, we end up arresting 3 students. Well, they actually all haven't been arrested, they're being charged. This is a little bit more serious, one of which is being charged with assault second, one will be charged with assault third, and the others, or all 3 will be charged with disorderly conduct. So we're trying to take a more strong stance with the kids fighting in the schools, to show that it is serious and to try to curb some of that behavior. And we're working hand in hand with the schools in doing this. We're not doing it without their knowledge or their cooperation and coordination. Personnel complaints, internal investigations. I did forward some to the commission, four of them. Again, short notice, so I don't know if the commission had an opportunity to review them. That's up to you if you've had that opportunity or not. We could table them if you want, or we could talk about them. That's up to you.
I would say let's table them.
No problem.
I haven't really had a chance to look at it.
Yeah, and I apologize that was short notice.
So motion to table?
Motion to table?
I'll make a motion.
Do we need a motion to table?
I don't know.
We'll do it anyway. We have a motion, a second? All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
The last real item I have on the agenda is just to prepare the commission that there's several updates to our Lexipol policies that just came out. So we're going through the process of updating our policies. They're minor. There's nothing crazy. I read through them all. It took me 25 minutes. So it's nothing challenging. And I actually really appreciated seeing it come in this time because there's actually a document that explains why each change is in the law or the change in a law or best practice that causes that change. So
Who
like that.
updates the policies?
What's that?
Who does the updates?
Lexipol, the company that we hired. So last year when we went through that, or it was actually the year before we started it, finished it up last year when you guys accepted 200 and some policies, that this company we stay partnered with, that when changes in law or best practice or does a case law come out, they make those changes and push them out to us. So then we could go into our system and change ours. So there's stuff that probably without this company, we wouldn't pick up on for several months, if not a year later, when it becomes aware to us. So stuff like that is very, very good, I think, from the investment, I think is going to be very good. So again, just a warning, but I'll get them into the Google Docs so that the commission can see them. And again, simple, just like we used to do in the old policies, the changes will be in a different color font, so you could take yourselves right to the changes and see the changes, that it's nothing crazy. That is all I have on my open agenda, unless the commission would like to discuss anything, has any questions, concerns, thoughts.
Anybody from the commission? Anybody from the public? Come on up. Just come up to the mic.
Was there a car that was stolen at McDonald's this week?
On Dolson Avenue?
On Dawson, yeah.
If it was, I'm not familiar with it, I'm sorry. Out of the 2,000 calls a month we handle, I can't remember every single one of them, so
Okay.
I could inquire though and
All right.
find out.
Let me know next month.
Next month? Yeah, well, I can't remember that far. Is there something?
No. I just heard about it, and you didn't mention it, so I was wondering if
Yeah.
something like that happened. Or
We average a pretty good amount of car thefts, right?
No. Over the year, I want to say 5 or 6.
Yeah, like a handful.
Yeah, and the majority of them are really not thefts. They're unauthorized use where they loan a car out and the person
Related.
doesn't like to bring it back. It's typically what happens with them, but every so often there is a legitimate stolen car.
Yeah.
Normally someone left their keys in it and someone got in it and took it.
That's the way you go.
Yeah. So I'm sorry I don't have the knowledge of that right now.
Okay.
If you want to stop in and see me, or call me.
You're never around. I see you in the restaurants more than I do.
I gotta eat.
You all do.
All right. You need to go to motion to take a session?
Yes, sir.
I'll make a motion. Second about Commissioner Mills. All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Thank you. Be moving into executive session at 4:59 PM for the purpose of conducting potential police officer candidate interview, as well as discuss personnel matters.
Please be advised this ends the public portion of today's meeting. Thank you.
What's a deck?